It's 2 weeks to the general elections. Aspirants, the electorate, and the umpire are taking their preparations up a notch. But like a hovering craft, the concerns are still lurking. Will the preparations stand the test of time? Would we have made history if we had adopted a different approach? Welcome to Nigeria 2015. I am Nelta Igbe. The campaigns have been revved up by the political parties, and the anticipation amongst the electorate is high, even as many are still going for their PVCs and coming back with mixed results. Will they receive it? How many more will receive theirs? What are Nigerians saying about the PVCs? We will get to find out. We'll also hear from our correspondents from around the country who will tell us what's happening from their areas.
Thank you, Nyota. I'm Gloria Omezuke from Abuja. I'll be telling you about a briefing by the Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Ulisametu, who, apart from cautioning supporters not to use offensive language during this period, has also been making some explanations about the stone-throwing episodes in a few of the northern states. Well, that's coming up in a moment. Back to you, Nyota.
This is Yemi Kosako from Jos, where I'll be giving you details of political activities, particularly the electioneering campaign as it happens on the plateau.
I'm Emmanuel Ere, reporting from Port Harcourt, the River State capital. The PDP presidential rally holds in Adoke Amesimaka Stadium as the controversy surrounding the use of the venue between the APC and the PDP may have been put to rest. The APC governorship campaign train continues its journey around the 23 local government areas in the state. And gunmen attack another APC office, this time in Omo community, dealing another blow at a violence-free election campaign in Rivers State.
Our online platforms are also there to give you a voice. Our web team provides several platforms for you to participate and get your voice heard on the program. First, you can tweet at us using the hashtag Nigeria2015. Please use the Twitter handles at the bottom of the screen, at Channels TV and at Nelta Igbe. There you can tell us if you hashtag will vote or hashtag will not vote. Now let's take a look at how you tweeted in the course of the week. We did ask you if you will vote or not, either as things stand or eventually. Now, about 64% of those of you that tweeted within the week said that you will vote, and 34% said they will not. That was the question we asked you in the course of the week. Will you vote in 2015 elections? And 66% said they will vote, 66%, and 34% said they will not vote, meaning that it's been rising. That's above the figure we had as at the last edition of the questions about the recommendations made by INEC or the wage report. Recommendations made to INEC by the European Union. Then you can tweet at us or send us a mail at nigeria2015@channelstv.com or use the Twitter handles with the hashtag Nigeria2015 or hashtag will vote or hashtag will not vote. Now joining us tonight is a faculty member of the University of Phoenix, Lanre Lijadu, who's a faculty University of Phoenix, USA, and President Global Network for Better Standards of Living. Thank you for coming. In order to ensure an improved election process, the Ways Committee was set up. That panel submitted a report and that election was considered a good one. But that panel was set up after the 2007 election. Now let's see what the panel recommended when they submitted their report. First of all was the introduction of an independent candidate. That required that the Section 65 sub 2 sub B and Section 106 of the 1999 Constitution should be amended to make provision for an individual to run as an independent candidate. The second recommendation they gave was for the procedure for the appointment of the chairman and members of the INEC board. Again, for the above, the National Judicial Council was supposed to advertise a position, spelling out requisite qualifications, receive applications and nominations from the general public, shortlist the 3 persons for each position, send the nomination to the National Council of State to select 1 for each position, and forward to the Senate for confirmation. That was the second point. Now, thirdly, the removal from the office of chairman and board members of INEC The procedure, as recommended by Justice Uwais Committee, was that the chairman and members of INEC board may only be removed by the Senate on the recommendation of the National Judicial Council by 2/3 of the Senate, which shall include at least 10 members of the minority parties in the Senate. This was third recommendations by Justice Uwais. Now the fourth recommendation said that every political party should, within 60 days to election, submit its list of candidates to INEC within 60 days. And the final recommendation had to do with the determination of election petition. According to the Justice Uwais Committee, that was supposed to be done within 60 days, 40 or 6 months, 4 months for the case as a whole, and 2 months to handle the issue of appeal. After the Justice Uwais Committee submitted its report, the 2011 elections held. Many believe that the 2011 elections were held without the adoption of the committee's report. Again, many also thought that the results of that election showed that it was a good election. Different reactions followed that election from the international community and even from election observers within the country. If you look at the results as they stand, these are the results of the 2011 elections. At the end of that, the publication of the result, after the results were published, reactions that followed pointed out that the elections were successful. The EU, for instance, said the elections was a good one, even though there was room for improvement. The United States of America said the election was successful and a substantial improvement over the 2007 election, although there was voting and rigging. That's from the United States. The EU said the election was peaceful. ECOWAS said the election was also peaceful. Those were the reactions. But beyond the reactions to the elections, there was the aftermath of the elections, where a multiple displacement of about 65,000 people were displaced after the elections. There was widespread violence resulting in deaths of about 1,000 people. And then there was communal tension across the country. Still, those reactions that the election was better than that which was held in 2007. Beyond the 2011 elections, the European Union came up with certain recommendations they thought will make a difference in Nigeria's electioneering process. Amongst them, the first recommendation they made was that appointment of INEC's chairman through independent body. That was the first recommendation they made. Second, inclusion of independent candidacy into the Nigerian electoral process. If you notice that some of their recommendations are similar to that which were made by INEC. The third recommendation by the EU was the establishment of a constituency delimitation commission. Fourth, enactment of election legislation for political party. And then proper analysis of the recent population growth and a review of electoral constituencies. That was the fifth recommendation. These are just taking out, there are about 50 recommendations made by the European Union, but these are the top 5 we decided to look at even as we cut into our conversation today.